I am the eldest of two daughters. I was actually the middle child. My brother unfortunately passed away just before his third birthday and my first birthday. Um, how my parents get through that, it's amazing. Having a son of my own, at that age, it's for sons, it's very hard to think about stuff like that. But yes, so one of two girls with a mom and a dad. I was lucky enough to have my parents married until death did them part. My mom passed away 2016. It was very hard for us, the family, but we got through it. So for me, family is probably my most important thing. I'm fortunate enough to stay in a house where my dad stays in the flat next to us. My sister has decided to move overseas. It's good for her and for my niece. But we miss each other so much. Video call is nothing is better than a WhatsApp call in the late afternoons. Kyle, my son, constantly wants to phone his tunny wheeze. So yes, family is very, very important to us. And that is why I'm so glad that I work for an organization that sees family, that sees that need to spend time with family. And even as a work organization, we are not colleagues, we are family. And that is one of the things that I, love most. And if I've got a problem, I know that I can phone Santi anytime and say to her, hey, Santi, let's talk about this. I need this. I need to spend more time with my family, and she's always more than welcoming. And yeah, it's very nice. It's such a big difference from where I've come from in the industry to having this type of relationship within an organization where it's not just about the work we do, but it's about us as individuals as well. I do almost all the training. If there's any bulk training that I can't get or training that I can't get to, Sunita will take the ones that I'm not available for. But yes, I'm very busy almost every day doing training, and if I'm not training, I'm preparing for training. I train mostly online. Took some getting used to doing online training, I must say. Previously to training for MiChem, I did train for another company a couple of years back, but that was all on site or within a scenario where you're sitting in a boardroom, and I could jump up and down if I wanted to and move around and speak to people face to face. So doing this online thing through Zoom or through Teams or whatever portal we're using on that specific training day definitely takes some getting used to. So the guys training and coming on my training, please switch on your cameras now so that I can see you. I want to see you. I want to see how you're reacting. I want to see if I'm boring you so that I can be funnier or talk louder. So it's a training. Majority of the training online these days. I do get to go out every now and again. Then that's very exciting for me to get out and not sit the whole day in front of a computer screen. Going out, getting that human interaction, which I love so much, and explaining to people, giving them just a little bit of the passion that I have for this industry and this thing called food safety. That when I was at a university and studying microbiology, I don't think even I realized that there was this entire industry supporting the food industry, which is probably one of the important sides to that industry. Yes, as a consumer, we see all the stuff on the shelves and it looks beautiful, it tastes beautiful, but we don't always realize that there's an entire group of people behind the scenes making sure that it doesn't only taste and look beautiful, but that it is safe to consume. And that's what I try and give over to the guys when I'm training, is this passion that I have for this industry, the passion that I have for making sure that we don't go out there and kill someone. I mean, just over the past couple of weeks or past couple of months, we've seen children eating funky biscuits being killed, and that's where we come in, and where I feel that I come in as a trainer, and talk with passion about it, and transfer that knowledge that I have gained within the industry, working in a production environment. Say, guys, this is where we go wrong. This is how I think we can go do it better. Use that information and help people to start thinking about food safety differently, not just ticking exercises that has to be done because of documents that needs to be filled on, or certificate that we have on the wall that says we're certified to a certain standard, but to actually live food safety every day. And that is really my passion when it comes to the training part. I'm also very excited for getting my first client that I'm going to be implementing ISO 9001 at next year. So it's 9001. It's the quality standard, not the food safety standard. The ISO standards are very similar with regards to their construction and the high level structure. So I'm very excited to be doing that and getting that company certified by the end of next year against ISO 9001. So yeah, that's what I do on a daily basis. Mostly training, speaking until my voice disappears, and just sharing my passion with anyone who will listen to me, and anyone who wants to gain this experience. I get so many people that is actually they come on the training courses as private individuals, not sent by customers, and sometimes I can see that difference between a person that was sent by an organization because they have to be on my training sessions or a training session, and a person who has voluntarily spent the money to come on training to further themselves in their career. And they always end up asking, what can we do next? What else can we do? How do we become auditors? How do we become consultants? So yeah, I'm very, that's my passion. I love doing it. I love preaching to people and saying to them, this is what you need to do. This is how I've done it in the past. Take it and go and do it. Make sure that you're living a system, that it's not just paper based, but it's an actual thing that is done within the organization every single day, not just by a small group of people, but by everyone. I honestly, for me, it's all about, and when I train, and we train about food safety and quality culture, for example, I always say it's not always the leadership from the top. We have to, as top members or top management leaders, we have to identify the leaders that are not managers, the leaders that people within an organization from a ground level, that those guys turn to, those popular people now that has that ability to influence other people. Get them on board with food safety culture, get them on board with quality culture within an organization. Then it's a lot easier to meet in the middle than to try and do everything from a top level, because it's not always that easy to change people's minds about what they've been doing for so long, maybe in an industry. And if you get those, if you raise those leaders from the bottom, and you get them involved and you get them inspired, they inspire other people. And that's really what I try to do during my training sessions, is to get those people, because it's not often that I train top management. Most of the people that I train is more of a either middle management or even operator level. And I try and say, guys, this is the level that we need to work at. This is the level that we need to inspire. This is the level that we need to identify the leaders that can inspire other people to do their best. It doesn't matter what they do, but to do their best for the industry, to make sure that we are producing, in our case, a safe food product. Say how I got into food safety, I'd like to say how I got into microbiology. When I was a very, very young girl, I mean, probably 6, 7, 8-ish, my dad bought me a microscope, and I can remember spending weekends at my grandparents' plot in Pomona, and looking at anything that I could find under that microscope. And I really, really developed this love of this thing that I didn't even know what it was back then. Um, when I was in standard 9, we still work to standards now. In standard 9 grade, I don't know what that is. 11, grade 11, I think, grade 11. I went for an interview at the University of the Free State for medicine. I was looking at becoming a doctor. And I can't remember the interview. I can't remember who did the interview, but what I do remember is professor said to me, "Are you sure you want to work with a stethoscope? Don't you rather want to work with a microscope?" So he could actually probably see my passion of wanting to do this microbiology thing. I applied only for microbiology after that, the University of Pretoria, went and studied, did a little itty bitty bit of food safety during my 3rd year, I think. And that was it. And that was me becoming a microbiologist. I've always wanted to be one. I don't think I always knew what it entailed, because as soon as I then got the opportunity to go and work at a facility for the first time as a production, a laboratory microbiologist and production facility, I found the job a little bit mundane, and I felt myself wanting more. I felt myself needing more. And I then decided to move into pharmaceutical, because I thought that was the more I wanted. Thought, no, pharmaceuticals not for me. Back into the food industry. But then that was when I was outside of the laboratory and into the food safety side. Even though I was working for a contract laboratory, I was not in the lab. I was helping people to solve problems with regards to out of specification micro results. And then I discovered the whole section outside of just testing, where you actually have to do the investigations and find the root causes of things. So one of my favorite courses is root cause analysis. I can preach about it for 8 hours straight. So yes, and that's when I discovered this love of food safety and just wanting to make the world a better place through it's something that we assume. We go to the shop and we don't even think if the product is safe to consume, because other people like us at MiChem, like the food safety team and me at MiChem, and everyone else involved as role players in the industry, actually does that for a consumer without them even realizing that they need it. Yes, and then for me, like I said, down the production side with regards to food safety, went into I had my own business where I was training and auditing and everything. Went back into a production environment, and then realized it's nice to work in production, have the challenges around production, but I actually don't get to share my passion. So I left that environment and I joined MiChem a month and a half later, and here I am, almost 2 years, and doing what I do, I think, best. I think I'm a pretty good trainer, and I love it. I love sharing my knowledge with regards to food safety. So implementing is one thing, doing it in production is one thing, but getting to sharing that knowledge is, for me, is that important bit. Getting everyone else involved and up to scratch. If I see you doing something wrong at the local retailer, I will tell you. One of my personal, like I said earlier on, one of the biggest things in my life is family, and the love that we have for each other. And it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult to always love the people around you, especially the ones that you spend the most time with. But doing that and getting the satisfaction from just making sure, or just having that love for people and having that love for I'm a Christian, so love for Jesus, and shining that through. And I really do hope that people see that, because sometimes I think, oh, I wasn't a very lovable person at this moment in time, or through what I said. And then saying that, having that ability to also say I'm sorry, to confront the bad part within you, and then saying to people, don't just keep quiet, but saying to the person, I think I hurt you through what I've said, or I think I've done you wrong and I don't want to do that. We want to. So for me, forgiveness, and the love, and through forgiveness, that you have to say sorry, otherwise you can't forgive, and people won't be able to forgive you if you haven't said sorry. Other things is patience, and it's a value that I try and live by, and I try and teach it to a 4-year-old that's not very patient, but it's something that I still have a struggle with, and you have to work on it day by day, and every single time, and every single challenge that you face, just that reminder, and reminding yourself that patience is a virtue, as the English man says, and you have to practice patience. And from someone who had to patiently wait for a baby and struggled with infertility for 3 years, sometimes we don't always understand why, or we don't always understand what is happening. And even applying for positions, and wanting to get out of an organization where you are not feeling that you are doing what you should be doing. I actually hated the person I was becoming at one of my previous positions, and applying for position after position after position, and not hearing anything, and then eventually just resigning without a job to go to. And then this door opened up, and it was really just that test of patience, and actually making a decision, trusting that something is going to come along. And here I am doing really what I am passionate about within an organization that is also emotionally protective, and helps you to get through these difficult times and these difficult things that you may struggle with. Having the personal values of family and love and forgiveness and patience, I think within a position where I am in, especially as a trainer, as a facilitator, dealing within a group of where 4 or 5 people are on a training course, and you have different abilities and different organizations with different beliefs around the organization and around food safety. Maybe someone doesn't even know what it is about. You have to have that patience to work through it, to make sure that everyone gets it, not gets what you're trying to teach them, but gets the importance of, in our case, food safety, and how it is then transferred into an organization apart from MiChem, and they then take that ability and they go and they live it. And they maybe, if we as a facilitator, if I train and I am patient with a group, or if I'm understanding with regards to a person that interrupts and asks 15 questions within a matter of 2 hours, and I'm stressed about time, you just calm down, and you just think that these people want that knowledge. They want to take this ability, or they want to take this knowledge back, and they want to go and lead within their own organizations. That then helps me to also calm down and think, okay, fine, we'll get through the training course in the day, or the days allocated. Right now, what's important is that you make this person feel comfortable, make this person see that love that you have for the food industry, and ultimately have that compassion for the person who's going to take back that experience that they've now gained into their own environment. So yes, sometimes it's very trying. Sometimes you sit in front of a group of people and they are very challenging, and I have found myself needing to just stop and take a step back and just calm myself down, and look at them through the eyes of love and through the eyes of family, and just think, how would I react if I was in their shoes? So yes, it's very important to make sure that you always look at the other person from what their perspective is and how they would feel when, or I would feel if I was in their position, not knowing anything about food safety, for example. I've got 20 odd experience with regards to it. For me, implementing a system is easier than for the next person. And having that patience and having that ability to, through love, explain a concept, even if it takes a while, and at the same time making sure that the other people in the group are still comfortable as well and their needs are also met. And that's exactly what happens within a family, right? Is everyone's needs are different, and we have to be able to look at the situation at hand and then decide what needs to happen. I've had to stop people and say, I'll speak to you after the course, and then do that, because you can see other people are getting irritated. And as a family, within a family, I've got a husband and a 4-year-old and a father, and all of them want attention. So I know that feeling, and I know how to, well, I hope I know how to handle it. And even if I fail, I've had to say to a group when they say to me, Amilia, you're getting a little bit irritated. I'm like, okay, guys, let's take a 5-minute break, all of us, and then come back and say, you guys felt that I was irritated. I'm sorry. I might have even been a little bit. Let's get back to it. I'm happy and I'm loving you again. Let's sort it out. Let's re-look at this concept that we were struggling with before the break. And yes, it's happened. I mean, I've had people say that to me. Amelia, I think you're a little bit irritated now, and it's fine. It's fine to then sometimes I take stuff very personal, and then I need to think and I need to step back and I need to say, okay, let's have a break. I breathe, I calm myself, and then let's continue back where we were, with that patience and that love for people. Encouraging people, I would say I was in a senior management position. I like I said, I did not like the person I was becoming, and I had to look, and I had to take a decision, and I had to, for my own sanity, resign without a job. And in today's day and age, where two people, most households, where two people really should be working to get enough just to survive through a month, to set budget, and not even always doing that. It was very daunting for me. It was very daunting taking that leap of faith, taking that step, to preserve myself and preserve my own sanity at the end of the day. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, okay, now I've done this. Now what? What do I do now? I thought about it, and I knew I was going to not have an income. And I think a lot of the people, especially the young people out there, don't always know, now I've done my internship, and now what? Now what? And what I want to say is, take anything. If you have to start at a position that is maybe perceived to be more junior than maybe what you've come from, or it doesn't have the growth potential, or maybe doesn't have the salary that you thought you wanted. Maybe you don't even get a salary. Maybe someone is just looking for someone to come do filing at their facility for a couple of days. It's related to food safety and that's your passion. Go do it. Take every single opportunity. I read a quote, I can't remember, it was on someone's WhatsApp status the other day. It said, open all the doors, look which one's closed, and then every other open door, go through it and see what lies behind it or beyond it. Because at the end of the day, you don't know, if you work today, you work hard, no one sees it. It may take months before someone sees it, but trust me, someone is going to see it. Someone will see it. And that's the someone that you want. to see it, because I've been in situations where people see what you do, but they don't really care. They don't care. They laugh if you tell them that you've done good in an audit. Those are not the people that you care about right now. Just work and do your best. Doesn't matter where you are in the food chain, as in your organogram structure. Just do your best at that position where you have been placed, and persevere, because at the end of the day, that is what it is. That's that patience, that perseverance, working hard in anything that you do, because the right person is going to see it at the right time, and then it's going to open a bigger door for you. Feel that if you do then reach that senior position that you've been dreaming of for the last 10 years, look for the people where you started and identify those people and uplift them. Then don't just think, oh, I've made it now it's all for me, I'm going to reach the heavens. Look then towards where you were, and identify those people that you can help, so that it comes full circle at the end of the day. As a member of the food safety team and as a member of MiChem Dynamics, being involved maybe on the lab side, I know the food safety team and the VGL laboratory has a big project running at the moment, going off full steam next year, I believe. I see a future that is completely open, that is completely out there for us to just go and grab, to live by our mottos, to go and save lives and change lives, to create this better future, not only through what we do, but through who we are and through the initiatives we take. For example, this one, just being there within the industry, and the courses that we do, the free webinars that we do, we make such an impact without sometimes even knowing it. And I know Santi is always seeing what else can we do. I mean, if you look at a leader, she's just one of those people that you can't help but feel inspired by, and that's a leader, right? It's not a manager, it's a leader that inspires people. And sometimes I think to myself, oh my goodness, where are we going? What are we doing? Are we going to survive this month? Are we going to survive this year? And then Santi just comes in and Santi says something, and Santi thinks of this next thing that we're going to do. And sometimes I wonder, Santi, is this really going to work? And somehow it just works, because we've got the leadership. And besides that, we've got the leadership that inspires us at the end of the day, and we work together. And sometimes there's stuff that happens within a team, and we probably irritate each other from time to time. Just getting back, just remembering what we are trying to achieve in the long run. And we have to always think about what's the next step. What can we do right now to make whoever we are dealing with their life easier? Maybe just through saying something simple, saying something, just smiling at them and saying, we're here for you. Don't worry. Maybe you failed an audit. We'll help you. We'll get through this. The next one's going to be better. So just looking at taking each day at a time, not always knowing what the future holds, because no one does, but looking towards our leadership and where they are wanting to take MiChem, and us as a team feeling that inspiration and following, not blindly. Trust me, not blindly. Sometimes we question, are you sure? And yes, sometimes stuff fails, but we have to all get together and work together as a team to make it work. And having that leadership that inspires, and within a team then going that extra mile to see where we can help and what we can do extra, how we can I forgot the word, how we can encourage people. And that's why I think, we've just split food safety from quality, for example. We're going to now go into a quality side as well, not just the food safety side. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited doing the webinars and looking at all those things. Just want to remind everyone to never give up, never stop trying, never stop believing in yourself, never stop thinking that you can be better, that you can do better. I'm not saying that everyone is bad, but we can all improve on ourselves. And that's, when you look at food safety and you look at food safety systems, there's this requirement for continuous improvement. And sometimes I think we're so set on, as consultants and auditors, have the company improved and how do they show their continuous improvement? But we have to also look at it at ourselves and say, okay, how am I improving? What can I do? Where's the mistakes that I've made in the past? What do I work on? And bettering and continuously improving ourselves, because at the end of the day, we're never going to be perfect. We're not made to be perfect, but we can constantly work on improving ourselves.